Hello. I got my haircut. I love it. I think it's really cute and I think it's summery like I wanted. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. Side note, before we start this video, I'm going to be trying to post regularly. This has always been a challenge for me, but it's the summer months. I don't have school to worry about and I wanna start posting regularly. So my day for posting is Saturday. I'm gonna be trying to post every Saturday with the odd bonus video if I have a lot of time on my hands and start making a lot of content. So through the summer months, through the months of July and August, I will be trying to post every Saturday. So if you are not subscribed, maybe think about subscribing because I will have more content, more bookish content, more life content, more whatever content I do coming your way. But this is my what I read in June and July TBR kind of combination sort of video. So this is going to be a really good time and we're just going to chat a little bit about these books. I'm super excited for my July TBR. I have a whole stack right here. And my what I read in June. I didn't read that much in June, so it'll be super easy to get through that really quickly. Yeah, I think that's everything. So let's get started. I read 3 books in June because it was final season for me. I normally read a little bit more in a month, more like 5 or 6 books. But I read 3 in June just because it was so chaotic, so hectic at school. I was trying to get everything crammed into that last month and it was a terrible time overall. So in that last month, I started with Sick Kids in Love. I rated it 4.5 stars because it had a wonderful view of kids who struggle with chronic illness, and as a fellow sick kid who struggles with chronic illness, I found it really inspiring to read about these 2 best friends, 2 kids who struggle with chronic illness. It's kind of lonely being a teenager and dealing with all these health struggles, missing all this school and having no one to talk to about it or no one who truly understands. So this book was really beautiful. Their friendship, their romance was really beautiful. I loved the characters. Sasha was amazing. I just love Sasha so much. I didn't rate it a full 5 stars because most people will go into that book wanting like a romance book because it is classified more as romance. Sick Kids in Love. But I felt like the romance was a very side aspect in that book. And I wasn't super dedicated. I wasn't like as dedicated in the romance as I was in the friendship. I felt like it was a very realistic, down-to-earth romance. So if you're going into it for like a heart-shattering, cheesy romance, that's not going to be found. So that was, I went into it expecting a little bit more of the romance aspect when it was a lot more down-to-earth, realistic, and there was some romance on the side. So that's why it's not the full 5 stars. Among other reasons, I just didn't get that 5-star feeling. So that was Sick Kids in Love. Next, I read Heartless by Marissa Meyer. This book overall disappointed me because it was so good at the beginning and it was so wonderlandish and mystical and magical. And then kind of just went downhill. I predicted the ending. I thought there was going to be something bigger, some huge shocker, but there wasn't. It was just a predicted ending. It was honestly a little bit of a letdown at the end. It was still very beautifully written. I just found at the end the plot was strewn together, like it wasn't as interlaced and as interconnected and as detailed as I would have liked. It didn't have the depth I wanted the plot of the book to have. But again, it is a YA book and maybe I was expecting more adult fantasy level plot. I don't know, I just found it lacking near the end. I kind of read this book throughout most of the month, so it was my finals book. I just kind of got through it as the month was going on. I wasn't super invested by the end. Maybe because I've been reading like chunks, 50 pages here and then 50 pages 3 days later because I was busy. And I think if I had read it all in one sitting, I would have rated it a bit higher, maybe thought the book was a little more fast-paced than I thought when I was reading it in little chunks like that. The beginning was really cool. I really liked the Wonderland aspects brought into it. I'm a huge Wonderland girly. I always have been. So I really like that part of the book. Then I finish off the month with Set on You, a really, really good romance. I rated this 4 stars. It was overall just so much fun, and it talked about body neutrality and topics like this that I love hearing about, and I'm so glad this book is in the world. It was really good. I stayed up for like 4 hours reading it one night because I loved it so much. And I loved the couple in this book. Their chemistry was amazing. And it was just everything I wanted in a quick romance read. I didn't rate it the full 5 stars because honestly, it just wasn't that 5 stars romance quality. I feel like I've read a lot of books in the past 2 years, and I feel like for a book to be that 5-star romance quality, I kind of need a little bit more to go off of. But it was a really good read. I would suggest this to almost anyone. It was honestly just such a good time to read this book, and it talked about so many important things. The romance. Oh, I loved Scott so much. I just loved him so much. A firefighter afraid of needles. Yes, please. He was the perfect book boyfriend. So I want to continue with the series, but I have heard X's and O's is a disappointment compared to Set on You, so I'll probably get it from the library. I actually got all 3 of these books from the library, hence why I don't have the physical copies, because my book budget is running low. So that's what I read in June. Now, on to our TBR. Now, this is quite a large TBR compared to how I read 3 books last month. But in the summer months, I am known to read a surprising amount of books. So, we're starting with the new Ali Hazelwood release, Love Theoretically. This book, I'm very excited to read it. I heard Love on the Brain wasn't that good. I didn't read that book though. But Ali Hazelwood's The Love Hypothesis was a pretty good deep read to me. I think I rated it 4 stars. And Ali Hazelwood's a really good writer. She has some skills in the romance world. So I think this will be a really fun time all around. And I just had to read it. I saw it in Indigo and was like, you know what? I missed out on Love on the Brain. Why don't I pick this one up? So, yeah. Next up, we got another romance book. This one came out this year, I think. It's called 6 Times We Almost Kissed and 1 Time We Did. So, very excited to read this book. It seems like a pretty short read. There's like pages of text messages in it. It's not that long overall. I think it's only 350 pages. And it sounds like an interesting story, you know, kind of close proximity story. And I'm always here for that. We're gonna throw another romance into the pile. This is a YA romance called Tokyo Ever After. I think it's more than a romance. People compare it to Princess Diaries and Crazy Rich Asians. And honestly, it sounds so exciting. I think she has a relationship with her bodyguard. She's a princess. I just want to read this book, and I saw it at HomeSense, and my mom got it for me, and I was like, this is gonna be a great time. So I just got this a few days ago, and it's really short too. I think, yeah, it's only a little over 300 pages. And I'm actually feeling like some romance right now, so I might crack one of these open right after the video ends. We have Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. I just started this book, like just as my current literary fiction read. I've heard so many great things about this book from Haley Pham, and honestly, it's just made me want to read it. It sounds really interesting. It's about video game developers. That sounds cool. I've heard it's really sad at some parts, and I'm always here for a sad book, so I'm excited. And again, I needed this copy. It's so beautiful. It's hardback. I'm in love. Now, this is a more thriller, I think. I think this is a thriller, almost horror novel. It's called The Gray Seer. It's about, I saw Haley Pham read it and found it so scary, so I was like, oh, I want to read that. I get a lot of my book recommendations from booktubers and Haley Pham, just so you're aware. This book is about there's something called the grace year where all the teenage girls get sent away for 1 year into the woods, and no one knows what other happens out there. No one knows what happens out there. And no one's allowed to talk about what happens in the grace year once you come back. But there's always less girls coming back than there are going into the grace year. And I just found that a really cool premise. So, and this is a reasonably sized book, guys. I definitely was in my right mind putting this on my July TBR. This is The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. Oops, almost got the wrong Samantha author there. This is a feminist fantasy novel, and it sounds really cool. I've never read a feminist fantasy novel, and I'm here for the whole 800 pages of this book. Honestly, I want to read a book this long, see if I lose interest somewhere along the way, or if the longer the book, the better, because I tend to really like long books because the plot's so much deeper. There's a lot more depth. But yeah, I'm excited for this good time. I've heard it's good. I've heard it's good from people, so I got it. What's that? On to, I don't even know what this book is considered. Maybe it's a thriller? I think it's a romance. Okay, this is Stalking Jack the Ripper. I think it's about a girl who fell in love with Jack the Ripper. It's in the Victorian era. It sounds interesting, honestly. This was on Book Talk a really long time ago, and I never read it, and I saw it at my library and was like, you know what? I could read that. That's basically the whole story. It sounds kind of interesting. It sounds like a dark romance, so, but it is YA, so we will see what we think. And the last book I'm reading this month, it has a picture of this man on the back. I find it so hilarious when they just put a whole picture of the person on the back. Like, if I wrote a book, would I want my face very large just on the back? No. The answer is no. This is The Bone Clocks by David Mitchell. This is adult fantasy. I actually got recommended this by one of my doctors. I get book recommendations from everyone, guys. So I've never heard of this before, but it was at my library. And it sounds really interesting. It's about a teenage runaway. This is gonna be hard. These are the books. Oh my goodness. Ooh, I always think I'm strong until you have to hold up a pile of books this big. These are the books. I think this is going to be fun. I think this is going to be a great reading month. I have very high hopes. Read. My feet are dying. I know I'm probably like, oh my goodness, my feet, I cannot feel them. It feels so weird. I digress. By the time I'm posting my July wrap-up, that I will have read at least a decent amount of these books. Yeah. Let's hope. Some of these I'm so excited to read, especially like Tomorrow in Love. Theoretically, they're near the top of my list. So yeah. So stay tuned next Saturday for another video. I'm sorry this July TBR came out a little bit late, but I filmed it on July 4th. Let's be honest. We're getting on a filming schedule, we're getting on a posting schedule. I'm so excited to be around YouTube more. I haven't been on YouTube in so long, and I'm sorry that I've kind of been MIA for a few months. Life has been chaotic, anxiety, health problems, and school have been chaotic, but it's summer. I'm doing pretty good in all those aspects right now. So I'm so happy to be back here and to be editing my videos and to be posting again and regularly. It's a great time. And your comments. You guys, my Pinterest followers, you guys make my day, and you guys make me smile and make me like the happiest teenage girl there is. So thank you. You guys are amazing. So that was a little sappiness for me, and I will see you next Saturday, hopefully, or maybe even sooner. I have to go because